I'm doing my duty as a parent to bring up my kids. They're going to church, bringing up morally. You should also do the same. So we all do the same. So that when our kids meet and they get married, then there will be no cases of gender-based violence. This is what we are saying. That if I do my part, you need to do your part. She needs to do her part so that these kids grow up and become responsible citizens. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the conversation we must have. We have an opportunity. In 2050, there will be the MPs, there will be the senators, there will be the governor, there will be the president. So we have an educator as parents and teachers, educators, to influence the generation that will be in power in 2050 if we do a good job today. 2050, what kind of a nation do we want to have in 2050? I call it Vision 2050. So for us to influence that generation, we must not drop the ball today. And
God willingly chose to put Adam and Eve in the garden. Every family is a garden. And the moment we move toward another to say, will you marry me? You are prompted by love, and you are beginning to build a garden. If we want a good society, we must build good families as that important building block. And so, why does family exist? Why should we care about the family? The family exists to serve God and His will.
We consider marriage just as one of the acts of worship. If it's done properly from the onset, then we believe that it will set a stronger foundation for the family to thrive.
Which is more important, the marriage or the wedding? Are you sure about that? People who are planning to get married? It's the wedding. They spend 2 years saving up money for the wedding and then get married and then it's over in 2 years. Right? Folks, there's something wrong here. It's all upside down. Of course, it's the family. Of course, it's the marriage, right?
The focus should be only the exclusive focus. What can I do for you? It's about others. As you go through your marriage and family, what can I do for you lately? Or what did I do for you lately? Or maybe I didn't do enough, so I'm going to check myself, I'm going to get centered up, and I'm going to start investing into you again. Versus the conventional culture is, what can you do for me? Okay, I'm going to select somebody on how you can help me, how you can satisfy me, right? And how you can fulfill my desires. It's backwards. That's the reason why those marriages are on a trajectory to end.
The problem you have here is going to cause that culture issue. If you can brush that off and say we are just human beings like Americans or whatever, we can go to the moon.
So I want to tell you, young men, stand on your ground. If being a man, even if you're called umekaliwa, umefanywa this by the culture, because that culture is corrupt. It is anti-family. It is anti the child. It is anti-biblical principles. And so I want to tell you guys, because you guys can break that culture. You're young now. You're the Gen Zs. You're breaking everything. Break even that one. Break that culture and stand with your wife. Stand with the biblical role of a man. Stand with what Tony said. Think about the other person more than yourself. Live for the other person. That is what will sustain your marriages. If you continue being an African man, you are all finished.
If you're busy trying to build Kenya, it will not go anywhere until you build the family first. The family first. Any politics that you want of success has to start at the family. And this is not nepotism because I have a little bit of Maasai blood. It is just that the Maasais, you said, are seen everywhere. They can say they saw another two. So, Asante.
We are people here who are every year because they are people help us. In other words, they have taken a deliberate choice within the institution they serve to be caregivers, both practically as well as mentally connect where they can bring forth the healing of some of the aspects that our director has alluded to.
In Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 4, it teaches that diligence leads to prosperity, while laziness and irresponsibility lead to poverty. When did we ever use such a scripture to talk to these children? So the father's failure to warn his son about the consequences of irresponsible behavior shows a lack of teaching about personal responsibility and the work ethic that is needed to succeed in life.
When KEPSA industry is talking about the costs or the environment for the businesses, hoping to get to global competitiveness, we say, let us look at the social impact. Let us see and emphasize the issue of businesses cannot only look at profits. If they do not look at the social impacts, if they do not look at the communities, if they do not look at the person, the environment, then they cannot get to global competitiveness.